Hello and welcome to Slam Fire Radio. This is episode 460 for June 16th, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel.
I'm another host, Kyle.
I'm another one of your hosts, pulling up his show notes, Dave.
And I'm the final host, Mo.
Sorry, I was late, guys. I'm all gross and sweaty because I just finished mowing the lawn and then ran into the house and grabbed my water and came down here.
Isn't there supposed to be a twister going through Toronto? I was promised mayhem.
One can hope.
One can hope.
I saw hail, heavy wind. Lightning.
We got nothing here. We got nothing up here. It was supposed to be tornadoes, but a friend did send me from the Shelburne area. Michelle D did send me a picture last night of grim-looking clouds. If I saw those clouds, I would run. They were freaky deaky.
All right, what we did in Guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they have Burris thermal scopes in stock.
Ooh.
So if you want to pretend to cosplay as the predator while you're hunting those coyotes, you can pull out one of these Burris BTC 35s or BTC 50s. Changes based on the optic size, the objective size, and they're right around $4,200 or $5,200 for clip-ons. They have one for $3,000, but if you want to be the predator, it's not gonna be cheap. So such thing as keeping out on the predator cosplay.
Frankly, you spent all the money on guns you're going to spend on pistols lately, so why not go blow a bunch of money on something awesome?
Yeah.
You could put the thermal on a pistol. I don't know what the heck you do.
If you got a Desert Eagle, that'd be awesome.
That'd
be sweet. Like a Deagle with a thermal sight.
What? Yeah, of course.
Hunting, it's yeah.
Oh, dude.
I see a thermal signature. Oh, that's probably a bad idea. Something's over there. Oh, man.
Well, maybe if you're hunting with thermal, you're less likely to shoot a human. Oh, yeah, horses. Forgot about
crank
that.
someone's horse or something like that. Tim's in the house.
Cow so you can eat it.
Hello, Tim.
Why don't we start off with Dave? Dave, why don't you tell us what you did in Guns this week?
I figured out how to break the CFC, the Canadian Firearms Center, to get more people through, and it worked for Mo.
It did.
I started making a list last week, and I was really paying attention to what was going on Canadian Gun Nuts and on Facebook and what people were saying. And people were placing thousands of calls to the normal number, the 142, and then just getting randomly put on hold, hung up on, just not getting through. It was awful. But a few people mentioned that they called 161, which is the non-restricted BS new thing where you have to get a transfer number. So I thought, well, that's interesting. So I kept calling that number and I couldn't get through, but I was so annoyed calling the main number that at least here I got a person I could talk to who'd tell me no. Yeah. So that was cool. And then somebody said yes after 5 calls. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So this is an actual thing, because there was all kinds of speculation on Gun Nuts that this was like a government conspiracy. There were RCMP plants on the forums, because most of those guys are nuts, right? So whatever. And justifiably so, because the government is out to get you. So it's not paranoia. But so it was interesting. So I started making a list. Every time I called, I wrote down somebody who said, yes, I can do a restricted transfer. And I wrote down the names of people who said no. And then I took that entire experience and I put it into a forum post on Gun Nuts and on the CCFR. And so far, the Gun Nuts post has had about 3,800 hits last I looked. And it's got a ton of replies. So I'd said, here's what you need to do to optimize your chances with option 1, which is the normal line where you get put on hold. How to time zone cheat, how to set up an auto dialer on your phone so you don't have to go through the menu manually. And then option 2 was my little method where you call 161, and if it's somebody on the yes list or somebody you haven't talked to yet, you ask them about a restricted transfer. And if it's somebody on the no list, you just hang up instantly without even talking to them. So apparently they're getting kind of pissed off about that. But I've gotten emails from dozens of people last week in DMs updating the list, and dozens of people have written me and saying that they got through after weeks of sitting on hold. So it does work.
It does.
So if you go on Gun Nuts and you search in the C21 forum for a thread called How I Got Through to the CFC Multiple Times in One Day, and it's on the CCFR Facebook page as well, give it a read. If you're still trying to do your answers, it works better than sitting on hold and getting hung up on. So there you go. That's what I did. I broke the government.
Good for you.
I was talking to Trevor, and he was saying that they're getting 100,000 calls a day right now.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it.
I totally believe it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Well,
perfect. Sorry, that was me.
Anything else, Dave?
No, that's pretty much all I did. So I did get myself a shadow, found one, an SPO1. So now I'm going to have matching shadows in case anything ever happens to my competition pistol, because I was sitting there thinking, I may not buy another one. I've got a competition pistol, whatever. And I thought, what happens if I crack a frame, or I don't know, something happens to it? You're screwed. Like you're done. That's it. Game over. So I bought another matching shadow one, and I got an optic ready Glock as well. Because I always wanted a Glock 17, and I never have owned Glock. So I sold a nickel-plated sissy pistol and bought a Glock.
Nice.
That's it. How about you, Kyle? What have you been up to?
Got the rest of my transfers in. So now I'm just waiting for guns to be shipped.
Sweet.
On Saturday, I had a company sporting clay match. So Friday night? Yeah, Friday night I threw a few briskets on. Company for work, yeah.
Very nice.
People from other parts of the country are like, what? What are you talking about? Company sporting clays?
Other parts of the country, you do like a golf tournament or whatever. We go out and shoot sporting clays.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Alberta.
Is this something you do with your company on a regular basis? Are these other gun owners? Or oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, every year. And every year I put on a few briskets for it. And yeah, we go shoot some sporting clays, get some meat sweats, and have a good time.
That's awesome.
Meats and clays.
It's very Alberta.
Yeah.
Meat sweats and shotguns.
I need to move out there.
Me too.
Yeah. So I shot a decent match. Well, for me, it was a good match. Shot 65%. And and then 2 of the 3 briskets I cooked ended up being the best cooks I've ever done on a brisket. So that was an added bonus.
Cool.
Yeah. And then Sunday I drove up to Peace River. They were having 2 3-gun matches this weekend. So I drove up for the Sunday one. And yeah, it was good seeing a bunch of people, because there was a bunch of people that I hadn't seen since the team match last year. But I showed up, and on the first stage, which was we'll call it the longer range stage, was my first stage of the day, and I made sure I was not going to win the match. So.
Oh, it's good to get that out of the way on your first stage.
Yeah. Yeah, it relieves the pressure for the rest of the match.
What was your technique? What was your technique to make sure you didn't win?
I shot a WK.
Oh.
Man, you haven't been having a good time with that thing.
No, I hate it. I hate it.
You guys are not friends, clearly.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see, but yeah, I absolutely hate it. I need Alberta Tactical.
Can we guess what went wrong?
Absolutely, take a guess.
Okay, all right. Mo, Dave, you guys want to guess first?
Is Dave still there?
Dun, 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 dun.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that your extractor pin walked.
Nope, but there was one that day that did.
Not yours though. Okay.
I don't think you have enough rounds to crack the piston, so I don't think your piston broke on you.
No, and I had that brass bushing, so the nylon piece didn't break. Think
charging
more basic.
Handle. Just charging handle?
No, that's an SBI one. It's all good.
Barrel nut.
No, I just had it apart and torqued.
Okay, I'm out of guesses then.
It would not feed. It was double feeding, wouldn't feed at all. And started off the stage great, changed mags, and yeah, I fought with that for a while.
It was double feeding. Was it extracting or it was picking up 2 rounds?
I think actually the double feeds were kind of self-induced because it wasn't feeding in, then I'd rack it, and then
maybe it wasn't chambering all the way, and then you rack.
Actually, I know
one.
exactly what it was. It was my mags. But I thought that this one, that the polymer mags were going to be okay, because Peace River, they limit us to 10 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pull out my pinned hex mags and that. And when I was down on the stage with it, when it did run, it ran the P mags just fine. I could put pressure on them, anything, didn't over insert, nothing. The hex mags were over inserting, and they have to be in there perfect for it to actually feed right.
So they don't feed right, in other words.
No, they don't. They are very finicky on their mags.
So were you were winding up with 2 live rounds in the gun?
Yeah.
Like both, where were the rounds ending up?
Well, I was stopping it before it actually got wedged into the chamber. So you'd have one in the chamber and one wedged up.
So
or
they're riding over each other.
And I'll be honest, I'm on the clock trying to clear it, so I wasn't studying exactly what's just trying to clear it and get back in.
Tap rack. No time to think. Just tap rack it. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Feed.
Drop mag, tap rack.
Who knows? Maybe I'll get something to work for it, but I think I'll just take out my my metal mags, my Beowulfs, and have to really pay attention to my loading if I'm shooting up here.
Yeah.
But,
that sucks.
Yeah, they suck. Absolutely.
I almost bought one because I saw somebody was selling the Gen 1s for like $900 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
I was blowing them up for that price.
Yeah. And I'm like, it's about a $900 gun. Really? Maybe. It's not a $1,200, $1,300 gun. So I was tempted, but then I thought about all the problems Adriel's had and you's had and all the issues I've seen on the range with them. And I'm like, I don't want to spend $900 on a broken gun.
Yeah.
My issues are fixed. My
you
fine. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
Is yours? Which gen is yours, Kyle?
I'll talk about mine because I
got a Gen 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first stage, and so the rest of the match, I just went to go fast mode and went faster than I should have, taken a lot of downs and whatnot.
It's the way to go, though.
Yeah, just having fun with it.
You ever?
Yeah.
Burn the house down.
Yeah. There was one interesting stage, and at first when they were given the stage description, I was like, what the heck is this? Because it was like a paragraph long course of fire for describing what you needed to do. And like when you're shooting here, your foot has to be touching this, or you have to be touching this. And the states of the guns didn't bother me. Like the rifle was unloaded, bolt forward. You had 1 shell in your shotgun. That wasn't a problem. It's just very dictating on exactly, you have to be touching this board when you're shooting here.
Oh, okay.
What were they trying to do? Were they trying to get you to shoot certain target rates from certain spots?
I think they're just trying to mind fuck. I don't know.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Well, the start of it, and actually after shooting it, like once you got it straight in your head, it wasn't bad. And the start of it was kind of interesting. It took a pencil and stabbed a target. So it kind of got dubbed the John Wick stage.
Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, it turned out it wasn't too bad. It's just I hate it when you have a paragraph long stage description. Guess what? There's your targets. That's what you want to shoot them with. Go for it.
It's like the old joke where somebody's standing there and it goes, okay, you got the stage briefing ready and shooter ready, and up comes the neuralizer from the Men in Black, right? Beep.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was still, like I said, it was a fun day. And yeah, that's basically it for me. How about you, Mo?
I went to an IPSC match in Grenville, Ontario on the Saturday, so it was 2 days after the level 3 in Waterloo. So I drove straight there in the morning. It was six stages, pretty good stages. Weather was nice; it wasn't too hot, so that was great. Um, uh, I did pretty well. I was happy. I was actually much more accurate than the level 3, but the level 3 obviously had tougher, more challenging distance and partials and stuff. Still working on moving a little bit faster than I am, so that's still a work in progress. Then I'm registered for another match this Saturday in Stittsville, Ontario. So that should be good. As Dave mentioned, I used his system. I actually ended up talking to him, and I think it was 10 minutes after I spoke to him, I got somebody that answered the 6-1 extension for the transfers because I had sold my Shadow 2, and so yeah, the person answers, and I say, "Do you do restricted transfers?" And she said yes, and I was like the happiest boy on earth. I was like, "Oh my god, this is actually gonna happen!" I was like so happy.
Marry me.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, and I was like,
how many calls did you have to do to get in?
I don't know. I never counted. My prop for 2 weeks, I might have done 500 calls. Like, and most of them were through that 4-2. But I had tried the 6-1 and like the non-restricted, and I guess every person that I got happened to be on the they don't do list, and so finally, and even that day that I had called, it was the third person that ended up being the person to do it. So the first 2 had said no.
Pretty good.
So yeah, it was such a relief, and then I sent the info to the buyer, and so now it's on him to get to complete it. But at least I got my portion done, so I was happy about that.
I got lucky when I talked to people there because I said, "Can I transfer some people in?" The one chick's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I got nothing else to do." So I ended up conferencing in 3 guys, and we transferred I don't even know 40 guns.
Oh, wow. Really?
Oh, yeah. Because I transferred them in by one, did the job they had with me. And then I'm like, "Do you have anything else to transfer?" The one guy's like, "Oh, yeah, I got a pile of numbers." And she's like, "Yeah, give them to me. That's cool."
That's nice. I mean, everyone, I have to say, everyone I talked to was very, very nice. So I didn't use your system of hanging up on people. I just can't do that. I'm sorry. I can't have somebody say hello and then just hang up on them.
Click.
I can't.
Time is money, friend.
I know, but
well, at least they're not doing it one per person. Like, you only get one transfer on this phone call.
Yeah,
like the doctor's visits, only one ailment per visit.
That would be torture.
Some of them are actually. There are some of them won't let you transfer or conference people in, but most of them will.
And then the last thing for me was, I had not mentioned it. The Montreal match from 3 weeks ago. I've lost track of it. They did prizes at the end, and one of them was a gun, and they drew my name, so I won.
Oh.
But I found out that the gun I won is on the Hunting Gear guys do not buy list. So,
well, you didn't buy it; you got given
it. Yeah,
was it an MX-10?
No, it's a Springfield XD9. So.
Oh, good God! No, throw it out. Use it for a tent stake. You just sharpen the front of it with a Dremel, and then you tie your tent line around the trigger guard, and then just pound it into the ground.
I was happy I won a gun. I never thought I'd be winning a gun anywhere. So
that is cool.
Do you have a standard combat pistol otherwise?
No, so it's yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
it fits. I guess it fits a slot then, right? So. Would I have gone out and bought it myself? No, but am I going to turn it down that it's free? No.
No, that's nice though.
Yeah, and for people Quebec now this is from a business transfer. I counted, it was from when they initiated to when I got the email. It was 9 business days, so I think that's pretty good because Ontario, I think, is 2 months now probably.
Oh, I haven't seen anything. And I'm not expecting to see anything for a long, long time. I'm surprised Quebec was that fast.
Yeah, it was 9 business days. So,
see, in Alberta, mine were slow for Alberta.
What?
Oh,
2
yeah,
days?
wait 8 hours.
Yeah, my transfers. No, actually, it was for the mechanic. It was almost 2 weeks.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
Like my transfers were like Ontario time.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And then my last thing is I also got in on the handgun Mageddon and actually bought a new pistol, something I really, really, really wanted, but I'm not gonna tell you until I actually have it to show it. So I'll
Ooh.
wait for. I'm just teasing for a future show.
All right, all right.
Oh, yeah,
Cool.
it's something I really wanted, and it became available. It was on the CGN post that they got it in stock, and I jumped on it like immediately. So
It's a
Mm.
Tokarev,
It
isn't it?
shows to your no
yeah,
gold eagle. Gold
it's
eagle.
a Terra 9. It's a no kidding.
You bought an alien.
No, it's not an alien. Okay, I'm not gonna say it now. Anyways,
Desert Eagle.
what's that?
Desert Eagle.
No,
Gold plated.
Is a Wrangler?
no.
It's probably a Wrangler. You got to be in the club, buddy.
But I was laughing that Tenda had. I think I sent it to you guys. Tenda had the Wranglers buy one get the second one half off. So it was like a.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who wants two Wranglers? Like, what the hell
It
are you
was like
supposed to do
it
with
was like
that?
a shoe sale, like a Payless shoe.
I know. I almost good for it. I'm like, you know what? And then I'm like, well, then I would have 3. And unless I'm shooting a brace of them at a cowboy action match, what am I going to do with them?
Yeah.
I can't
haven't even
sell
shot
them.
I haven't even shot the one I bought.
Yeah.
No, neither have I.
I just thought it was funny that buy one get a second one.
Yeah.
I'm imagining they had skids of
Skids of them.
And it's hard to like the limiting factor right now is transfers. So if you sell them to one person, it's still just one transfer you're doing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
It would have been worth it before the ban announcement. Be like, hell yeah, buy one, get one half price, sell it for like 25% more. Good to go.
Yeah.
But not so much.
So that's it for me. How about you, Adriel?
I did a bunch of things. So I did a 3-gun match at Sherwood Park on Sunday. Went with my oldest boy, and had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with him. He shot pretty well, and I shot pretty well too. So this is like a single bay 4-stage kind of a day, and so we ran a shoot squad and a reset squad. So if you're on reset squad, you're just doing resets, which gives us about like 10 people for the reset, which is great. Enough to like, this is your job, this is your job, this is your job. If anyone needs to go to the bathroom, tell someone, they'll do your job for you. And like fast resets, right? Yeah. And then just everyone helped with the full stage reconfigurations in between. And it was all good. I got first. My boy got like 16th or something like that. But like nice. He was running some pretty decent gamer gear, so that's that makes a difference.
How long before he's better than you?
Next week.
No, he's got a while. He's got a while.
All right.
It's good though. Like usually I was shooting before him, and like there's a couple stages where you like need to move your feet and hustle, and he would move his feet and hustle, and
nice.
Stage breakdowns were okay. Yeah, there's parts that could be better, but like in general, he didn't have any catastrophes or anything like that, and that's nice. That's all you can really hope for a 14-year-old, right?
Yeah,
no catastrophes.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
I ordered some Glock 48 mags from Rampart. It's like Rampart is like I think they just mostly sell stuff to cops. Have Glock 48 mags for the price that it was before the inflation and the bad times happened. So I bought 3 from them, and those are in the mail. And then JF Gunworks, I think they must have listened to a show or something like that. They're like, hey, you want some Glock 48 mags, base pads? I'm like, yeah, I do, because I kind of want this gun to like be my kid's gun. Because after shooting this match, he's like, hey, 9mm 12 gauge, let's go. Like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I sent you guys some photos. The Glock 48, just the way that the mags are sized on the gun, it runs in my Shadow 2 belt rig just fine, because I've got the Safariland GLS, which the Glock 48 has a thin trigger guard, so boop goes in just the same as my Shadow. And then the mag pouches, I've got the knockoffs of the Race Masters, and they just fit in there just perfect. So I could get them set up on that belt pretty quick, and then retire the 22 stuff to my to my 11-year-old and that kind of a thing. So I don't know
Cool.
what to do for a rifle though, because I got my WSMCR right now. Maybe I'll run my M1 Garand and I'll run like Clipazine and shoot some 308 instead of the 223.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be
interesting.
fun. And I got a boatload of 308, so maybe. Anyways, yeah. So they're like, "Hey, you want to try these base pads?" I'm like, yeah. Send me some base pads. So they're sending me some base pads, which is neat. I've got a Sherwood Park Maple Seed coming up on Sunday. I'm not the shoot boss. I'm just going to be there for fun, I guess, to help. It's kind of cool. Tom's going to run that one. I got my C71 receiver on the weekend as well. So Tristan from Spectre Ballistics was out there. That's where I got it from. And I've already mostly built it. There's the green C71. And I had the stock, I had the barrel. I didn't have the trigger group, but then Cabela's had another sale, $99 for the BX trigger. Got one of those. Had the scope, had the everything else. So I need a bolt.
Let me know what you do for a bolt, because I've got a friend who wants my stainless steel 1022, and I've got all those parts into my Gucci little gray birch. So I'm going to strip them out, sell her the rifle, and then I need some Guccier parts for my gray birch.
I went non-Gucci for the bolt. I found someone on the local 3-gun buy-sell group on Signal to buy a bolt from. So I'm just buying like a regular Ruger bolt. That was the C71. The next one is I built a gray birch takedown on their Le Chassis. It's
very nice.
It's very nice. So it's a takedown 22, right? So cool. I can grab this guy here, give it a twist. Up comes the barrel. There's the barrel, and there's the rest of it. And if I want to, I can I push up or down. I can't remember. Down, up, down. Both.
Try both.
Oh, it's down. There we go. And I can fold it. So then that.
Look at that.
And that could go into like a backpack or something like that. I need a smaller scope on this thing. The scope is too big. Too big for a takedown. But
put a little red dot on that thing.
Yeah.
That'd be sweet.
I got red dots.
Yeah.
Red dot would be sweet on there. No. I'm going to put a 1-4 on there. I'm going to put a 1-4 on here. I've got a Vortex Viper 1-4. Then I'm going to stick on the top of that. Sean's saying red dot. I already have a red dot one. I'll show that one in a minute too. I like the stock. It's got a adjustable length of pull. Just that guy right there. You can pull it out. It's got the cheek rest can go fore or aft, and it can go up or down based on what you do with that stuff there. So you can adjust it pretty well to where you want it on your face. I haven't figured it out yet, but it's got a hole in the back here too, so that you can torque the bottom of the rifle. Because like 1022s have this bad thing where they like rotate on the action screw. And then the back here, you can like pull it up or down. This one's actually got some decent tension on it, but that screw will keep it from moving at the back.
Cool.
But I haven't got around to that yet. Oh, it takes a beaver tail grip. Nice. I think not enough rifles take the AR beaver tail grips, and I like it when because you can hold your hands so much higher on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like there's no part line or anything like that. It's just pure grip.
Sweet.
So.
Yeah. Never mind the fun of trying to find a decent aftermarket grip without the beaver tail.
Yeah. I have a bunch of non-beaver tail grips, but it's so nice when you can use them.
Yeah, that's nice. Get your hand up good and high.
Yeah,
like that.
So I've got that. Oh, a lot of 22 stuff. Holy.
Ammo. It's good.
Yeah, that's a Spectre. No, that's the Gray Birch. That's a Gray Birch Le Chassis takedown model. My buddy actually has the non-takedown model. I think the takedown model is just a little bit heavier because they have to put some more meat right here where you like screw, because like there's like 2 screws here. That's all that's holding the barrel to the fore end is just those 2 screws right there. So all this guy here is cantilevered off of just those 2 screws. So it needs to be a little bit beefier to handle that torsion there. And then I can't remember if I mentioned last week or not. I ordered some like ammo from Tenda and some mags and that kind of thing. I got some buddies who are like just buying their first handgun, and then I've got my neighbor who wants some 9mm. So I just bought a whack of it, and hasn't been shipped yet.
It might be a while.
It might be a while. They got some other priorities. They might ship their pistols first before getting to the ammo and mags and all that kind of stuff. But whatever. And then I sold my, I sold some Shadow Grips, and I sold my TM9 pending transfer. So I'm going to try Dave's magic trick of 161. That's it, right? 161?
Yep. Burn down the system, my friend.
I'm going to try the 161 and pretend I'm just a robot. And if they can say yes, then I'll go. And then if no, I'll just hang up and try again.
Look at my yes and no list, my friend, and just hang up if they're not on the yes list.
No, don't hang up.
Time is money, friend.
Don't do it. Don't hang up.
Mo, bless your heart. I'm going to be hanging up on those people like all over the place.
They hang up on you in a heartbeat. No.
Yeah. Yeah, so I gotta get that TM9. Like I don't personally care. Like it could sit on the shelf for forever for all I care. It's just I really don't need it. I really don't want it. If someone else out there doesn't have a handgun and they want it, so yeah, I would hope that they can have it and they can have something. Something's better than nothing, right?
I sold my one of mine. I had some World War I pistols, and I sold them off because I just bought them just for interest's sake, and I played with them a little bit. So I passed them on to collectors because better they're in filling holes in their collection than sitting in my gun safe not being shot.
Yeah, yeah. I got I still have a Tokarev back there, but it's one of the Zastava. It's not like a historical collection piece or anything like that. And I still have some 7.62 by 25, and that stuff still might be cheap. So I kind of want to keep it. Yeah.
I sold all my 7.62-25. I put up an ad for a Tokarev, and a random guy emailed me and said, "Hey, you got any ammo?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got like 2,000 rounds, and I got reloading dies, and I got brass coming out with the yin yang."
Reloading.
So met him up and traded it all. So yeah, I had like 200 rounds of Burden Prime brass. So Burden boxer brass.
Burden.
Yeah, I'm thinking Burden
boxer.
Standard
brass 7.62 25.
I know, right?
Blowing my mind.
They make it, so it's expensive too. But I didn't need it, so sold it all to this dude, and he screwed away with it.
You buy like crappy, like surplus SMB for like way cheaper than 9mm. That's what you do with 7.62 by 20. You don't reload for it.
This guy's going to, so he's now got dies and brass and a ton of ammo. So once he runs out of the ammo, he'll be able to reload.
Is it the 7.62 by 25? What's the real bore diameter on it? Can you run 308 projectiles in them?
Oh, I don't know. Only one way to find out.
I don't want like a 30 cal, right? Can I just throw like some 130s in there, some 145s, 147s? Some little boat tails in there. What's the twist rate on that barrel? Probably not that good. Probably not that good. All right. And that's it for me.
311.
311. Well, SKS rounds, right? 130 grain boat tails.
Somebody says 311, and somebody else says they measured the factory ammo and it was 3.065.
Whatever. Oh, Doug says go 180 grain. Yeah, it's a big chunk of
180 grain.
You'll have to load
those
deep in there.
Oh,
I don't know what kind of powder you'll be able to fit, but
compressed load.
Yeah, just send it. All right.
I would love to get that in a little bolt gun. I think that would actually be really fun in a carbine.
180 grain 7.62 by 25 or just 7.62 by 25?
7.62 by 25 in general, I think would be kind of cool because it's a fairly snappy little round. So I think it'd be kind of cool in a carbine and not like a Sukhoi or whatever the hell those are. I mean, like a little bolt action. Bet you somebody makes one.
Bolt action. Well, Ruger has their 44 Magnum bolt action, and it's kind of weird. Yeah, it like it uses like 44 mag out of a rotary mag.
Oh,
I didn't really like the one, like it was super lightweight because like there's nothing for the action. The bolt doesn't need to move that far, right?
Yeah.
760 by 25. Yeah, that'd be really low power. That'd be easy
Like
to shoot.
a little 22 would be nice.
Practically, yeah. Yeah.
It's a little more zip.
Zip.
You guys,
All
I
right,
gotta
upcoming
dip
events.
for a couple minutes.
All right.
Sorry.
Upcoming events are sponsored by Telos Alpha. Telos Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at telosalpha.com. We have Maple Seed events available on Maple Seed projectmapleseed.com. I don't know. Search Project Maple Seed. They're on the events there. I think we could talk about that. The Caribou Classic.
Oh, the
That's
do
going to
not
be-
talk about.
I think we can talk about it now. I don't know. It's on Practice Score, anyways. Go check it out. It's on 3gun.ca as well. So if you want to find 3gun events, go to 3gun.ca and find them there. There's lots.
Cool.
Yeah. If you want to have the CCFR Women's Day at your range, email Kelly at slamfireradio@gmail.com and she'll send you her cheat sheet on all that stuff. Getting into the news. We don't have any news this week. We had a whole list of stuff there, but I just deleted it because we talked about it last week.
No, we didn't. I put news there.
You put news there? I deleted your news. Okay. You talk about your news then.
Oh no!
So there was a story that an Ottawa Valley dude, it was basically he had a mental breakdown after his everybody died essentially in his family, and he just had a really bad time of it, and COVID, and so he did what you're supposed to do, and he got help, and he ended up getting institutionalized for a little bit, and cops seized his guns, and when they refused to give them back.
Wow.
So he went to court, represented himself, which our friend Ian Runkle would highly recommend you do not do. But he managed to convince the judge that he was fine, and the evidence that the Crown presented was apparently nothing. Really, they couldn't prove he was a threat to anyone, and he was fine. His doctor said he was fine, so they had nothing on him. So they just, I guess, did it because. And he ended up, they ordered the cops to give him his gun back.
Good.
Just to be wankers.
Lifelong hunter. Yeah, it might have been. Yeah. And they had no proof he was a problem. So he ended up getting his guns back. So good on him. So Mr. Stephen Clothier from Ottawa Valley. Good job, buddy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That other news item?
Yeah. So the Liberals rammed through their online censorship bill, which should alarm everyone. So if you haven't heard about that piece of crap, go give it a read.
Are you talking C11 or the online harms one? C11? I know they're ramming through C11 right now.
Yeah, it was C11, so it's in front of the Senate.
C11 puts this podcast under CRTC requirements, and if we want to benefit, we have to do CanCon applications, which I've looked at and are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
We need all their costs to show like they're Canadian and the people are Canadian, and and we have to it's built for Bell and CBC and other like Canadian producers to make money. It's not built for like small digital producers to make money. Actually, a lot of people on YouTube have been talking about it. Linus from Linus Tech Tips recently just put a video out on it about how it's a total pain in the ass, and only a business as big as his can really benefit from this kind of thing. All the small creators get stuffed with it.
Well, and there's scary bits to it too. There were 150-ish amendments suggested by assorted people that they had, I guess, talked to about it, or people that were concerned.
Last minute, they were trying to ram a bunch in, right?
Exactly. It allows them to, in theory, regulate, Netflix and YouTube and Spotify and TikTok in order to promote Canadian content, which frankly, if your Canadian content is good, people will watch it. And if it sucks, it will die the death that it deserves.
And Canadians are already...
As it should be, right?
Yeah.
It should stand on their own 2 feet, not get propped up.
We already hit above our belt on YouTube and a lot of the globally competitive things that aren't regulated right now. Canada's doing fine. If you look at the number of Canadian YouTubers who are at the top, like there's a bunch of really, and they're all complaining about this. They're all complaining about this.
Yeah.
There's one that does like baby songs and that kind of thing, which
I saw that one. Yeah,
you ever have like
baby songs or something?
Yeah, if you ever have a kid, you'll realize why that's such a big thing. But she was like very much against this. Linus Tech Tips, pretty much anyone who's knows anything about this is against it. The only people who are for it so far that I've seen are industry insiders who will stand to benefit, or the companies themselves who are obviously making like boatloads of money off this thing.
Yeah. They a couple people were mentioning that it also regulates your content. So when you post stuff, or sorry, backing up one sec. So what Adriel's talking about there is they're upset because in order to qualify for Canadian content to be boosted in YouTube and all Netflix and stuff, you need to pay all kinds of money and have paperwork. It's not that your stuff won't be there. It just may not come up when Canadian content is pushed to the top by our government.
It may not be Canadian enough for them either.
Well, you have to prove it, as Adriel said, right? Which is paperwork and money. So your very successful Canadian baby songs channel may get bumped down for Canadian viewers as opposed to being at the top where it should be based on its own merit.
The work to do to get CanCon approval for a weekly podcast is way too much.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, most people
Sorry, guys. Well, you guys can do it. What do you guys want to do the CanCon application? I'm not really.
That's a lot of work. We'll make Kelly do it.
Yeah.
She's got
She's got lots of time on her hands.
she can stop doing Maple Seed and do that.
She loves paperwork too.
Oh yeah.
Who does it?
So the other thing that they've got there is that it regulates your content. So in theory, and the Liberals have said, of course, that they will not be enforcing this. It's part of the bill, but we're never going to use it because
trust us.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it regulates your speech. So if you post something on whatever YouTube or you post Facebook comments, like from what I'm seeing is that those are now under government scrutiny because they're
so you have to be
content.
monetized in some way.
Oh, is
There
that
has
the
to be
limit?
some sort of monetization, but that's not a big barrier. On YouTube, you get 1,000 subscribers, and then all of a sudden you can flip the switch and CRTC regulated now. Yeah. And on Twitch, really early on, because as soon as you can make money from it, you get a sponsor, you get products in kind, any of this kind of thing. It's now monetary. Now you are within purview.
So if we have Bolt Action Coffee or somebody, technically,
we'd
fall under that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, government doesn't like guns, so I can just imagine what sorts of. I mean, I'm sorry, they won't do it. We're good. We're fine.
Yeah.
We're fine. Government's never lied to you before.
Never.
You're good. Not even the Digital Safety Commissioner, who sounds like somebody right out of 1984. So, yeah. So if you haven't heard about Bill C-11, go read about it, crap your pants, and then write everybody you can think to and complain about it.
Go on YouTube, watch all the people complaining about it. There's lots of producers that are complaining about it right now. I was thinking about doing a quick little video.
Well, that's a good idea. It's terrible and terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Gets worse and worse.
All right, let's talk about something better. If you're looking to help the CCFR with their upcoming court battle, send some money to finance@firearmrights.ca. You can do that with like EMT or whatever.
Yep, donated last week.
New gun stuff. We talked about all these ones. I'm sure we talked about these ones.
We did.
Find a handgun. Like some of the stores are restocking. There are handguns. They have upped their prices. They aren't necessarily gouging you. Some of the price. So what the reason why I say that, I saw a Shadow. Someone was like, "Oh my God, they're selling Shadow 2s for $1,600." It was an optics ready Shadow. That's probably regular price plus inflation. So if you're used to prices from last year or the year before, they're going to be going up because they all have to restock. All the restocks are going to be at whatever new rate they have to pay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And they're not on sale either.
No point.
I don't think they're gouging, but they're definitely not putting any of these things on sale.
Unless it's a Wrangler, then it's on sale.
Yeah, those are on sale.
I did see that SFRC has a whole bunch of, if you go to their website and go to their black gun section, they've got a bunch of black rifles on sale. They've got Chris Vectors for like $400 off for some of them, $100 off WK 180s. What else? They got Ruger, the PC Carbine 9mm Takedown, non-restricted for $120 off. So yeah, go take a look at SFRC. Nice people, and they have stuff on sale. So.
Kyle, maybe you can buy like a dozen WKs, and then one of them might work out for you, or
carry a brace of them on your back like a video game character, and just swap
like,
them out as they
every
break.
mag change is just a new rifle.
Yeah.
Cowboy reload, and then for your pistols, the Wranglers.
Just need your kids to follow you around, so you're not discarding equipment. So you just hand rifle.
Drag the cart next
new
to
rifle.
No, drop them on the ground where they belong.
Yeah.
Kick them. Just drive them in. You jam it. Just drive them into the ground like a steak.
There is one I'm going to end up being looking for. That's the PS90.
Yeah, cool.
I finally want one of those.
Finally want one.
Yeah,
you have the matching handgun.
Pretty much.
That's cool.
All right, let's get on to the main topic. And for this week's main topic, we thought we'd talk about 1022s again. But this time, because everyone's in different stages of their 1022 build, maybe we can talk about different enhancements you can do to your existing 1022, or what you can do just building right from scratch. Everyone here has a 22, right? 1022?
Mm-hmm.
Any 22?
I'm part of one.
You've got a receiver, right? So Half's got a receiver. Mo, you've got a
just a regular, just a regular stock 1022.
And what do you use it for?
I used it for the maple seed last year, and that was it. And that was it.
And there's Dave's coming out there.
Yep. I'm just imagining we're going to show off the fancy 1022s, and Doug Rodenbush is in the chat screaming at his screen going, "It's perfection. Why did you change it?" Because he's old and grumpy.
Oh.
Anyway, there's my stainless steel that I'm going to sell. I love the stock on this thing. It's just so pretty.
Laminate, hey?
Yeah.
From the factory like that? Is that a Ruger 1022 target?
No, it's just a Ruger 1022 stainless, and it came with that laminate stock. So
cool.
I don't know. I've never seen another one, but I like it. And then I got my little Gucci gray birch with the carbon fiber, which I built, had never shot, and then I went hunting and shot 2 partridges with it. So 5 shots to zero it, and then 2 shots into partridges. So it worked great.
Doug says he built a gray birch for CRPS as well.
That must have been painful, Doug. That must have hurt to do that.
So I guess when it comes to, I think we should start with Kyle, because Kyle's got the least amount of 1022. He owns one technically, but
legally owns one.
Yeah, but maybe we should talk about like the parts that go into building one and some of the options there. So you have a gray birch receiver that's got a rail on it. Is that a canted rail, or is that just a straight rail?
I believe it's straight.
It's probably so that one's not canted at all. So like for the listeners out there, a canted rail would help in getting a little bit more distance out of the scope. So generally, if you have a zero cant rail, then your scope is straight. And if you want to dial for extra elevation to shoot really far, you'll only have half of the adjustment left in your scope. But if you cant it down a little bit, then you get to use like more than half of the scope's adjustment. So you can shoot further with a dial to target further.
Yeah. Mine's canty. I think it's 20 MOA.
Well, I mean, and you can do it with the rail, or you could do it with the rings as well. That's another option. I have the Burris signature rings. These have these little shims in it, and that allows you to get a little bit more cant, or to get some cant in it if you want to as well.
Keep in mind that mine, I just have to find the. It just came with one set of the little inserts, so I have to get the shims for the whatever I want to do.
Yeah. You can run plus on the bottom of the back and minus on the bottom of the front, and then that'll shift her on down. And then you have to run the opposites on the tops to even it out. But that does give you a little bit more range. Not that it's required for every use. Like that's only you don't need to run a canted base unless you're shooting really long distance with your 22. So it's only really useful for like CRPS and showing off, I guess, shooting really far. I guess you can use it for that kind of thing.
Yep.
So there's a receiver. Dave, do you have a fancy bolt? Do you have Gucci bolts, or are you just running Rugers?
I have no bolt in the one because I took
Yeah,
the
I saw
bolt
that.
out of this
Oh, it was
thing,
empty.
and I found out I was going hunting. So I'm like, "Ah, I need to build my fancy rifle." So I took my trigger group and my stock stainless bolt and threw them into my gray birch. But like I said, I'm going to sell that one, so I have to take the parts out of the gray birch and stick them in that one and get rid of it. And then I don't know what I'm going to get. I'm kind of like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to. I've never really built like a fancy gun before, so I'm like, I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna get something that'll hopefully still work, but be Gucci, and then I can make fun of myself because I make fun of people that do that. So,
well, I was just looking at bolts, so I can give you some recos on that.
sure.
The Ruger bolts are hard to find right now. Brownells sometimes has them for right around $40, or you can find, if you can go on CGN, some people have replaced their bolt, and you can get a stock Ruger bolt for which looks something like that for $40-$50 kind of a thing. Ruger's like one of the things that Ruger does extremely well is casting. So like all their parts are like cast parts that are then machined and that kind of thing. So that's the Ruger bolt in a nutshell. If you were to buy like a Gucci bolt, Delask has kid bolts, and then Gray Birch has their Gucci bolt. Their Gucci bolt has the charging handle as part of the bolt. So it's not like a separate thing that you put on. Whereas like the kid bolts, which this one is one of the Delask bolts with like a diamond cut to the face kind of a thing to make it look fancy, or don't have the bolt as a part of it. The CNC bolts are easier to clean, I find, because the cast ones are they have a texture to them that kind of holds the carbon in, whereas the CNC ones, you just wipe it and it just cleans right off.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Any other differences in them, like different weights, or like basically what makes a Gucci bolt and what makes a standard bolt?
Well, if you want to go more Gucci, Volquartsen, like one of the things with a 1022 bolt is that the recoil spring and guide are off center, which doesn't really hurt it, but it's not really the best thing to do with a bolt, right? If you wanted the most reliable and most consistent, you'd have the guide in the middle or something like that. Volquartsen has a guided bolt that I believe the recoil rod and spring are more central to the bolt instead of off center like these other ones are. But it is a proprietary bolt, right? So you have to run their recoil spring, their guide rod, and all that kind of stuff because it's different. I guess we could talk about charging handles. So like the stock one, I got a stock one over here. It's a little bit small.
I find them very small. I hurt myself sometimes trying to pull the thing back.
Yeah, there's really you can only really get like a half finger on there to pull it back. Some of the other ones are quite a bit bigger. Oh, my other one over there will have a bigger one. That one. Oh, that one's an aftermarket too. There's an aftermarket one. There I can get a full finger on that one, which is nicer than the curved one. And then this guy is my big honking one that I have on my on my maple seed rifles.
It's like a machine. It's like a C9 cocking handle. Good Lord.
It's fantastic. I really like this one because there's so much to grab. No matter where the scope rings or things on the side, like you've always got clearance around to grab that guy.
Yeah. Who made that one?
Power Custom. I don't know. This is out of Brownells. Brownells has a lot of this stuff as well. If you just want charging handles, Delask has a bit of stock, but Brownells has more. Yeah. I try to get your stuff locally if you can, but if you can't, then you gotta go remote. Yeah. Now recoil springs and guides, the factory one is captured it's a captured spring and charging handle. The whole thing is like in one bit. If you go aftermarket, frequently you'll have like the rod and spring separately, and then you can get different tuned springs. So you can get like a spring with like more power or normal or less. If you wanted to run just standard velocity rounds, which are a little bit less than like a high velocity, then you might want to run like a reduced power spring so that you're cycling more reliably, right? But it's an option to tune them a little bit more, right? Barrel. You're running the fancy gray birch barrel on that one, right? That 16-inch carbon fiber wrapped one.
And I will say at 25 yards, once I got this thing zeroed, it's ridiculous when you rest it. Like it's not quite, I'm shooting it, and I was shooting it off of lying in the middle of a dirt road in the middle of the woods on a logging trail on a stump shooting it. But once I got it zeroed in, like I fired 5 shots at it and it was dime sized at 25 yards. Like, it was ridiculous. And when I shot the first pheasant I shot it right in the throat offhanded at 25 yards. One round, nice. And took its head off.
Maple seed. That's maple seed in your service rifle experience, right? Being able to take those standing shots.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's deadly accurate. I love that barrel. That being said, my stock one, somebody shot maple seed with that, and they did very well with it.
I think like for practical shooting, I think the stock Ruger barrel is okay. Like the loaner rifles I have, plenty of people shoot maples, and I've shot like 230s with the stock Ruger barrel and just like a plain loaner rifle. I think the place where it'll show up is if you get into like really well rested positions, either with a bipod or like in a ORPS match or something like that where you're resting. Then you might start to run into limitations of the kind of stock Ruger barrel. Yeah, because they're just so.
Well, this thing's also, that thick around, and then your stock barrel is, that.
Yeah.
So it's quite a difference.
Yeah. Now that's a sleeve barrel, right? That one, it has a tiny metal sleeve going through, and then that carbon fiber wrap to give it its stiffness without adding too much to the weight.
Yeah, it's still heavy. Still actually got some good weight to it. Yeah, I like it. I was thinking of putting a muzzle brake on it because I see people are doing that, but that would just be to have a muzzle brake on it.
What if
too much?
What about an A2 flash hider? So this had like the screw-on thread protector, but it kept coming loose because there's no like nut in there or anything like that to keep it from coming loose. So I stuck an A2 flash hider on it and a crush washer.
I've actually got a spare. I've got a spare fancy little muzzle brake. Maybe I'll throw that on it.
They run the same as the AR brakes. Yeah, was it 1/2 x 28?
I may just do that just for fun.
Actually, I have on there.
I have a great big metal one that I've got stuck on one of my ARs right now. I'll throw that on her.
Get a big tank brake on there.
And a pound of weight to the end of it.
We're just talking about barrels. I guess like barrel length. For 22, the velocity doesn't really change a whole heck of a lot between 12-inch and 18-inch. Like there's not a lot of difference between them, so you can really pick whatever you want to in there. This 12-inch is really handy, really snappy, really able to just move it back and forth. My kid was using this at the 3-gun match.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah.
See, I got I think that one's a 16, so it's a little bit
longer. Yeah.
So have you guys been seeing any? Well, you're talking velocity differences, but have you seen any accuracy differences between like a 12-inch or 16 or 18-inch?
No, it comes down to stiffness on the barrel. Like a shorter barrel is going to be stiffer, so you would think that a 12-inch would give you like a little bit more accuracy, just because there's not as much room for whip in there. But for a 10-22, I just don't think you'd see it. Like keep in mind, like these are not as accurate as a bolt action 22. Like you can't shoot these against a CZ 457. Even this Gucci one, like the one next to me is $1,500. It's still not as accurate as a $600 457. But shoots faster.
Double tack the gophers.
Yeah. We talked about in terms of like where to get barrels in Canada. You can get takeoff Ruger barrels for probably like a case of Pilsner if you find the right person. Because people take their Rugers and they pull off the factory barrel, they put on a Gucci barrel, and then they're frequently left over with those other barrels. So those are easy enough to find. Delask has barrels. Grey Birch has barrels.
Is IBI making a barrel yet?
What's that? Oh yeah, IBI
makes a barrel. IBI make one? Yeah. Go buy a barrel from Ryan.
Yeah.
Proof makes one as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's really lots out there for barrels. Stock. You need a stock. I guess you could run the stock Ruger one. I think the most popular like upgrade one would probably be like a Magpul X22, like this one here, the X22 Hunter. It's more ergonomic than the original one. The grip on there is just a little bit nicer.
Did you put that cheek piece on?
Yeah. They sell cheek pieces for these things, but they can't get high enough. I can run the very high on this one, and it's still not quite high enough for me to get my face on there. So
yeah, because that's my stock one, and it's way low. So
yeah,
I was going to buy the highs. I was going to buy the cheek risers for it, but I'd heard the same thing, that even the big cheek riser is like meh. And I've got something similar to what you've got for an M14 that no longer exists, so I may throw that on there.
Yeah, drill some holes in it. Boom, there you go.
Yeah,
it's
cool.
Yeah, these are like super practical, like a Kydex cheek riser that's adjustable and you can get it on there. Yeah, super practical. What other stocks are available out there? What else do I got around me here? Well, I got the Grey Birch stock.
Bunch of them available.
Yeah,
really super lightweight, adjustable cheek rest, adjustable butt pad, AR grip, a forend with lots of M-lock on it, QD push button.
Is that cut for Arca as well? Almost looks like it.
Well, this is something I actually discovered recently. You can go on AliExpress and get M-lock to Arca rails. They have them on AliExpress. Now, if you want to get nice ones that aren't crap, Metalworks.
MDT, I believe, makes some.
MDT has their own, which you can get for the MDT chassis. Marginet Metalworks also makes an M-lock, a Canadian-made M-lock to Arca rail. But,
so what the heck is Arca rail? I have never heard of that.
It's
camera
thing.
You know your camera clampy do?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's Arca. And if you get a complete rail all along the bottom, you can clamp on your bipod and move it around back and forth. You can get a bag that has a clamp on it and have that on and move it around. So think about PRS. Think about okay, I have a ladder. I want to put this thing on. I could put the bag there and then move my rifle to it, or I could have the bag attached to the rifle in the perfect place and then slap it in there, and then it's just steady and ready to go.
Genius.
That's cool. So
and then you can also put it on a tripod, because a tripod will a camera tripod will have a camera Arca clamp on it that you can now your rifle's on a tripod, right? So really popular for the PRS and long range shooters.
Neat.
MDT has an MDT Oryx chassis. I'm just getting a video done for this one, and they sell an Arca rail for this thing that's like contoured to it and everything. And I'm probably gonna get it because it is the way to go for getting think about your a bipod on M-lock. Like M-lock is not that great for that kind of thing. M-lock's good for like lights and that kind of thing, but could you a couple little slots in there, and that's supposed to hold it on. If I'm torquing the crap out of it, it's never going to work.
Interesting.
Whereas there, this is like what Arca would be. That clamp there.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what you would have. The rifle would. Yeah, the rifle would have that rail, and then this thing you just clamp it on there, and it's not moving anywhere. There's a smooth Arca, and then there's like a scalloped one that's basically like you really lock it in on the scalloped ones.
That's super cool. Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. I've got a bipod with a camera mount, but it's like 15 years old, so it's the little plastic wedge-shaped thing you stick in, and it wiggles everywhere.
Yeah. And there's some more stocks out there. There's a bunch of like AR style stocks, like SBI makes an aluminum stock that you can get like an AR buffer tube on it, AR pistol grip, and all that kind of aluminum front is of course.
You get Archangel ones too that make it look all fancy.
Yeah. Also,
does it become an AR after that?
I mean, according to the RCMP, yeah.
Yeah. One thing to think about when you're buying your stock is that it might not. I'm assuming Kyle, for you need a stock screw. You need an action screw. It may not come with the stock, and it's something you might need to grab.
Right.
Same thing with the pins and all that kind of stuff. So if you get a trigger group, if you get that BX one from Cabela's, this is what it'll come with, minus the mag release. Won't be this cool paddle one. It'll just be like a stick one. But you also need the cross pins that go through there into the receiver.
Interesting.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, was a year ago I built this thing. I'm looking at it. Yeah, there's no pins left in it, and there's no bolt. So that's in my new stock. So I'll have to buy some more parts when I sell it.
You might need. There's the right on the back of them. They need a buffer as well. So it's typically like a sacrificial, like plastic or rubber or something like that. That bit fits in with the back of the bolt right there. So that's what that hits at the back of its travel. So rubber one will be a little bit softer, but a lot of these are just like pretty hard plastic, which works as well. I don't know. Anything else to mention about these things? I mean, there's lots of ways to build them, right? You could build one for maple seed. That's perfect for that. You could build one for like a takedown one for hunting grouse and that kind of a thing. You could build a PRS 1022, something for shooting long range.
Yeah.
A 3-gun 1022 for your kid.
Yeah.
Which is
the nice thing about
happening with this one.
Sweet. The nice thing about 1022s, it's like an AR-15. Everybody's had one. Everybody knows how to fix them. There's a billion parts out there for them. You can build one for what are they, like $400 to buy them now? They're not expensive.
You can get the gray synthetic ones for like $350, $300, somewhere around there. That's like the cheapest one that they sell. Honestly, if you're going to build one, you might just want to buy one and start replacing parts. Because by the time you get there's I don't know, the barrel and the V block. I didn't even mention the V block, but there's all these other little parts that you'll need. So you might want to do that, and then I don't know, upgrade as you go. Maybe.
Crap! I got to buy a V block for this one too. That's in the new gun. I forgot about that.
Delask, if you want to get all the parts, Delask has all of them. Yeah. So you just do your order through them and get all these tiny little parts, but make sure you've got the list of which parts you need. So you don't go to build it, you're like, oh, I'm missing the buffer or something stupid, and then you're stuck not having to shoot it for any time soon.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything else to mention?
Go buy a 1022.
Yeah.
Great little guns.
Yeah.
1022s are awesome.
Save up and buy parts, because this one's not going to be cheap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you can cheap out on some of the parts.
It could be cheap. I just know I'm not going to make it cheap.
Fun stuff.
Nice.
All right, let's get into listener feedback. Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing, just on Ruger 1022s, though. Check out his online inventory of new and used 1022s, firearms accessories for the 1022, optics for the 1022, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. I don't know if we added any of the listener emails.
I don't see anything.
There's a Ladies' Day, the Caribou Challenge.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if we can actually mention that, because he's been posting it on our
September
Facebook
3rd
pages.
and 4th. It's on Practice Square. It'll be at Lone Butte. There.
Yep. It's a brutality match.
It's a brutality match, which means less like race guns and more like physical combat between you and the stage. You're gonna be lifting heavy things, throwing things, shooting in between there, and doing all that kind of stuff.
Gears, weapons, and equipment is to be carried throughout the entire match.
Sounds brutal.
Yeah.
For armored division, yeah.
Yeah, forbidden to drop stuff. Fun.
We got an email from Paul here saying that Complete Gun Repairs in St. John's, Newfoundland has some handguns. So if you've been looking for one, that's one thing I found. All these like little hole in the wall shops that I haven't heard of before. They've got like fantastic inventory.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry if I insulted anyone from Newfoundland, but I just don't know of any gun shops there. And now I know of one. And they've got handguns, I hear. So if you're looking for some handguns, check them out. Let's get on to, I think for Facebook, we've been mostly doing it. Mike was mentioning that 19 inches is the optimal 22 barrel length. But I know for a fact that Mike has a 1022 that's not 19 inches. He has a tiny little rimfire race guns 1022 that is not 19 inches. I refute your claim, sir.
Maybe it looks 19 inches from his end.
No, it's just a little shorty for like
Serious
fast
baby.
eating, right?
Serious baby. That's 19 inches.
His wife. He told his wife.
Gotta make a
That's what
penis
he told
joke.
his wife.
Gotta make a penis joke.
Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, we covered the Caribou Challenge. Armored gear, lots of stuff to go through there.
Yeah,
just go check it out on Practice Score.
Yeah, it's like
if you're in BC, or if you're in like Western Alberta, you can probably make the trip and check that out. Finally, if you'd like to email the show, send your email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. We could also use your help on Patreon, help monetize the channel so that the CRTC can legislate us and tell us that we're not CanCon. We're on Patreon at Slamfire Radio. Shout outs. Kelly says me. That's very selfish of her and on brand. So yeah, okay.
Hey, Kelly.
I'm joking. Dave?
Everyone has been hammering the CFC this week with pistol transfers. So go buy handguns and enjoy them while we can.
Awesome. My shout outs for you, Dave. Thank you for sharing your information.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
How to get in, because
Happy to break things.
I'm going to try that tomorrow.
Good. Let me know how you make out. Be curious.
Well, hopefully I get my transfer in, because I don't know how much longer we've got. We keep getting threatened, eh? Like this week, it was like Tuesday. Something's going to happen Tuesday. And like,
there's a lot of
pushed
that.
it off. And
It's like you got a week left before it rises, isn't it?
I don't know. And if they do that, then it's not going to happen until September.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Well, if that comes around, I would be happy, because I would probably move a couple of guns off the shelf and maybe put a couple of different guns on. I kind of like Dave. I kind of like your idea of duplicates. I kind of want another shadow on the shelf just in case.
The shadow on the shelf.
2 shadows.
New Christmas thing. Forget your elf on the shelf. We've got our shadow on the shelf.
Gather around, kids. There's a shadow.
Yeah. Hey, kids.
You want to go shoot an IPSC match? I'm in production. I'm a combat handgun. Yeah, right. Shadow 2. No one believes you. Your lies. Mo, Kyle.
People in my country are very large and strong. They can carry shadow.
My shout out was also for Dave, because I was pretty frustrated about initiating the transfer until after I talked to him and he brought me luck. So thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
You got rid of your shadow on the shelf.
Next time I see you,
got
can
the
rub my
shadow on
tummy.
the shelf.
Your heavy duty pistol that pretends to be I'm a military and police pistol here. I'm in production.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we go too far off the rails, check us out on Gunners Canada, like us on Facebook, and we'll see you next week.
Good night,
Good night, Kelly.
See you next week.
Good night, Kelly.